The journey of accepting existential loneliness is akin to learning to breathe underwater. It initially feels unnatural, perhaps even terrifying, but once mastered, it opens up an entirely new dimension of existence. It allows us to find comfort in our own company, to cultivate an inner life rich with reflection and meaning, independent of external validation. It is a wisdom that, while we walk beside others, our path is ultimately our own. This understanding transforms loneliness from a burdensome curse into a profound teacher, illuminating the contours of our individual being and empowering us to live a life truly aligned with our deepest self. The cafe patron, by the end of this journey, might still sit alone, but the melancholy will be replaced by a quiet sense of self-possession, a peaceful acceptance of their unique place in the vast, interconnected, yet ultimately solitary human experience. The scene shifts slightly. Our solitary figure from the cafe is now in their own space, perhaps a quiet room or a park bench away from the main path. The initial discomfort of aloneness begins to soften, giving way to a different kind of presence. This isn't the anxious avoidance of earlier, but a quiet invitation to look inward. If the first step is accepting the unavoidable truth of our solitary existence, the second and arguably more transformative is to actively cultivate a profound and authentic self-connection. This is where the power of Yalom's existential lens truly shines, suggesting that the very space created by loneliness isn't a void to be filled, but fertile ground for genuine self-discovery. In a world constantly pushing us outward, toward social media engagement, external validation, and endless distractions, the idea of turning inward can feel daunting, even countercultural. Yet, it's precisely in this deliberate turning that we begin to understand ourselves not through the reflections of others, but through our own unfiltered experience. When the clamor of external voices fades, we start to hear our own. This isn't about navel-gazing or self-absorption. It's about grounding ourselves in our own being, understanding our core values, our deepest desires, and even our most profound fears without the pressure of external judgment or expectation. Yalom's work, particularly evident in his therapeutic approach, consistently emphasizes the importance of the individual's subjective experience. He often guides his patients to confront their own internal landscapes, asking questions that compel them to articulate their authentic feelings and thoughts, rather than merely performing for an audience. He understands that true growth stems from this honest encounter with oneself. Think of the rich, detailed inner monologues of characters in When Nietzsche Wept or the Schopenhauer Cure, where the characters are forced to wrestle with their own beliefs and emotional realities in isolation, leading profound shifts in their understanding of themselves and the world. It is within these solitary moments of introspection that the most significant personal revolutions often occur. So, how does one cultivate this authentic self-connection? It begins with deliberate practice. Dedicate specific time each day or week to simply be with yourself, free from distractions. This could manifest in various ways. Journaling, where you pour out your unfiltered thoughts and feelings onto paper, creating a private dialogue with your inner self. It could be mindfulness meditation, where you practice observing your thoughts and sensations without judgment, grounding yourself in the present moment. Or perhaps it's simply taking long, solitary walks in nature. Allow your mind to wander and connect with your inner landscape. The key is to create a sacred space for introspection, a sanctuary where you're the sole focus. This process allows us to differentiate between who we are and who we think we should be, or who others expect us to be. It uncovers our genuine passions, our unique strengths, and even the vulnerabilities that we might have suppressed in the presence of others. When we engage in this deep self-exploration, we begin to develop a profound sense of self-trust and self-reliance. We realize that our well-being isn't contingent on external approval or constant companionship, but rather on the strength of our internal world. Cultivating this self-connection also builds our inner resilience. When we are deeply connected to ourselves, we become less susceptible to the emotional whims of others or the vagaries of external circumstances. We learn to self-soothe, to find comfort within, and to navigate difficult emotions independently. This isn't to say we become impervious to pain or immune to the need for human connection, but rather that we develop a robust inner core that can withstand life's inevitable storms. We become our own most reliable confidant, our own unwavering support system. The beauty of this journey is that the more intimately we know ourselves, the less dependent we become on external validation. and the more authentically we can engage with the world. We stop seeking others to complete us and instead invite them to share in the richness of our already complete selves. This self-sufficiency, forged in the crucible of accepted solitude, is not a retreat from the world, but a powerful launching pad for a more intentional, purpose-driven, and genuinely connected life. It is the art of transforming the quiet hum of aloneness into the powerful resonance of self-knowing. The scene now shifts again. Our protagonist, having cultivated a deeper self-connection, doesn't shun the world, but rather approaches it differently. They might engage in conversation, not with a desperate clinging, but with a quiet confidence. This is where profound paradox lies, a core tenet of Yalom's existential thought. By accepting the unavoidable truth of our inherent solitude, we paradoxically become capable of forming deeper, more authentic connections with others. This isn't about being alone versus being with people. It's about how we are with people. For many, the fear of loneliness drives a relentless pursuit of external connection. We might cling to relationships that don't truly serve us, or engage in superficial social interactions simply to avoid the discomfort of being alone. This desperate neediness, however, often creates a barrier to genuine intimacy. When we approach others with the implicit demand that they fill our internal void, we burden them with an impossible task and set ourselves up for inevitable disappointment. No person, no matter how loving or devoted, can truly erase our existential aloneness. Yalom, in his many clinical anecdotes, often highlights how patient attempts to merge with others or live through them ultimately lead to disillusionment and further isolation, because such attempts deny the fundamental separateness of each individual. Consider the dynamic Yalom explores in the Schopenhauer Cure, where the characters in the therapy group grapple with their own isolated worlds while simultaneously seeking solace and understanding from one another. It's in the honest acknowledgement of their individual struggles, their distinct existential burdens, that profound therapeutic connection begins to form. They don't merge. They encounter each other as separate, vulnerable beings, and it's this encounter, precisely because it respects the boundaries of individual existence, that fosters genuine empathy and belonging. When we truly grasp and accept our own aloneness, something remarkable happens. Our relationships transform. We stop demanding that others complete us, and instead, we invite them to share in the richness of our already complete selves. This shift in perspective is liberating, both for us and for those we connect with. Our interactions become less about need and more about choice, less about dependency and more about mutual appreciation. We can appreciate others for who they are, rather than for what we need them to be. This newfound self-sufficiency, forged in the crucible of accepted solitude, empowers us to seek out relationships based on honesty, vulnerability, and genuine mutuality. The scene shifts to a quiet contemplation. Our protagonist, perhaps gazing at the stars or sitting by a window, isn't just alone. They are present in their aloneness. The initial discomfort is given way to a profound spaciousness, a canvas upon which the most fundamental human question often emerges with striking clarity. What is the meaning of all this? For Irvin D Yalom, the search for meaning and purpose is not a superficial pursuit, but one of life's four ultimate concerns, intricately woven into the fabric of our existence, and often brought into sharp relief by the experience of solitude. In a world bustling with activity, it's easy to get swept up in the pursuit of external goals, career advancement, material possessions, social status. These can provide a fleeting sense of purpose, but when the noise subsides or when we face the stark reality of our individual journey, the question of deeper significance often reemerges with an insistent whisper. When we confront our inherent loneliness, the realization that we are fundamentally responsible for our own lives, for carving out our own path, can initially feel daunting. It's in this very moment, however, that the freedom to define our own meaning becomes powerfully apparent. Yalom's cases, often detailed in works like Love's Executioner, vividly illustrate how patients grapple with feelings of emptiness or purposelessness. He guides them not by providing answers, but by encouraging them to actively create meaning in their lives. He understands that meaning isn't something one discovers, like a hidden treasure. It's something one constructs actively and continuously. It arises from engagement, commitment, and investing ourselves in something larger than our individual existence. So, how does one embark on this profound task? especially when the quiet hum of solitude emphasizes the responsibility of it all. It begins with introspection and exploration. What are your deepest values? What causes ignite your passion? What brings you a sense of genuine fulfillment, not just fleeting pleasure? This self-inquiry, nurturing the quiet space of aloneness, allows us to strip away societal expectations and truly hear our inner calling. It might be dedicating oneself to a creative pursuit, writing, painting, music, where the act of creation itself imbues life with purpose. It can be found in relationships, not as a means to escape loneliness, but as a commitment to nurturing genuine connection and contributing to the well-being of others. Or perhaps it lies in a cause, a belief system, or a form of service that extends beyond oneself. Meaning can also be found in the transcendent, those moments where we feel connected to something vast and awe-inspiring, be it nature, art, or a spiritual practice. These experiences often occur in solitude, when the mind is quiet and receptive. Think of scientists dedicating their life to understanding the cosmos, a philosopher grappling with profound ethical dilemmas, or an artist pouring their soul into a masterpiece. These pursuits are often solitary in their execution, yet they imbue the individual's life with immense significance, contributing to a larger human endeavor. Furthermore, crafting meaning is an ongoing process, not a one-time achievement. Life circumstances change, values evolve, and what provided meaning yesterday might not resonate today. The ability to continually reevaluate and redefine our purpose is a sign of existential maturity. And it is precisely during times of solitude that we are most equipped to undertake this crucial self-assessment, free from the distractions and influences of others. Loneliness, rather than being a void, becomes a crucible in which our deepest convictions and commitments are forged. Ultimately, by actively engaging in the creation of meaning, we transform our experience of life. The potential for despair that can accompany existential loneliness is replaced by a sense of direction and vitality. Our solitary existence becomes not a burden, but a unique opportunity to author our own story, to imbue it with purpose, and leave a lasting imprint on the world, however small. This North Star isn't given to us. It's meticulously built, brick by brick, in the quiet, reflective space of our own self-awareness. The scene opens in a dimly lit, comfortable office. Two chairs face each other, empty for a moment before our protagonist, perhaps looking a little apprehensive, settles into one. Across from them, the silent presence of a therapist. This isn't just any conversation. It's a focused encounter, a space where vulnerability is invited and reflections are offered. While we've spoken of embracing our inherent solitude, Irvin D Yalom, the architect of relational therapy, famously declared, "It's the relationship that heals." This isn't a contradiction, but a profound complement. The therapeutic relationship, and by extension, any authentic human encounter, acts as a mirror, reflecting back to us aspects of ourselves that we might be blind to, particularly how we navigate the very aloneness we carry. In Yalom's clinical narratives, whether in The Gift of Therapy or Love's Executioner, the heart of the healing process often lies not just in therapist's interpretations, but in the unfolding dynamic between therapist and patient. The consulting room becomes a microcosm of the patient's wider world, where patterns of relating, fears of intimacy, and resistances to connection play out in real time. A patient might, for example, instinctively withdraw when feeling vulnerable or try to control the conversation to avoid uncomfortable emotions. A skilled therapist, like Yalom himself, will gently bring these behaviors into awareness, not as criticisms, but as opportunities for exploration. I noticed you just changed the subject when we started talking about your fear of abandonment. The therapist might observe, this direct, yet empathetic, reflection is invaluable because it allows the patient to see themselves through another's eyes, offering a perspective often obscured by their own defenses. This mirroring function is crucial for navigating existential loneliness. We carry our aloneness, but how we cope with it, how we seek or avoid connection, often becomes patterned and unconscious. In a safe, therapeutic relationship, these patterns can be observed, discussed, and ultimately altered. If a patient consistently pushes others away due to a deep-seated fear of being hurt, the therapeutic relationship provides a space to practice staying present, to risk vulnerability, and to experience that connection can be safe. This experience, though initially contained within the therapy room, gradually extends into their external relationships. Beyond the formal therapeutic setting, Yalom's insights apply to any genuine human encounter. Even brief, honest interactions can serve as minor mirrors. A friend's gentle challenge, a colleague's observation, or a loved one's empathetic gaze can offer small reflections that help us understand our own relational dynamics. The key is to be open to these reflections, to listen not just to words, but to the underlying message about how we are perceived and how we impact others. This requires a willingness to be seen, even in our vulnerability, and to trust that authentic connection, even with its inherent risks, can offer invaluable insights. The relationship, therefore, becomes a space of learning. It's where we discover our blind spots, confront our fears of intimacy, and ultimately learn to be in connection while still honoring our individual separateness. It's where we can test out new ways of being, new ways of relating, understanding that while our core aloneness remains, the quality of our interactions can profoundly enrich our journey. This doesn't erase the existential void, but provides a profound and validating experience of being seen and understood, which in turn strengthens our capacity to be with ourselves. It's in this delicate dance between shared humanity and individual solitude that true healing and growth often occur, illuminating the path forward to the complexities of existence. The final scene opens not with isolation, but with vibrant creation. Our protagonist, having navigated the acceptance of existential loneliness, cultivated self-connection, built authentic bonds, and found meaning, is now engaged in an act of profound expression. Perhaps they are writing, painting, composing music, or deeply engaged in a complex project. The quiet space that once felt like a void now hums with energy, a testament to the transformative power of embracing one's own company. This is the ultimate promise of Irvin Yalom's existential framework, that facing the givenness of our solitude can paradoxically lead to a surge of creativity and significant personal growth, turning what might seem like emptiness into a wellspring of vigor. Historically, and indeed, in the narratives Yalom often shares of his patients' breakthroughs, profound periods of solitude have been fertile ground for innovation, reflection, and artistic output. When we strip away the constant chatter of the external world, the demands of others, the endless distractions, the need for validation, we create an expansive inner landscape where new ideas can germinate. It's in this quiet, often initially uncomfortable, space that we become truly attentive to our inner voice, our unique perspectives, and our untapped potential. Think of the philosopher in their study, the writer at their desk, or the artist in their studio. These are often solitary endeavors, yet they're the engines of culture, insight, and human advancement. The very act of confronting one's aloneness can be a powerful catalyst, pushing us to create, to synthesize, to make sense of our world on our own terms. Yalom's emphasis on responsibility is key here. If we are ultimately alone in our existence, then we are also ultimately responsible for creating our lives, for how we engage with meaning, and for how we respond to our circumstances. This responsibility, though daunting, is also incredibly empowering. It means that the choices are ours, the narratives we construct are our own, and the energy we choose to invest can be directed precisely where it can bring the most personal and profound fulfillment. Solitude offers a perfect laboratory for the self-authorship, allowing us to experiment with new ideas, develop nascent skills, and articulate our unique vision without external interference or judgment. Moreover, the growth fostered in solitude isn't just about creative output. It's about a deeper maturation of the self. When we are forced to sit with our own thoughts, feelings, and anxieties, we develop a greater capacity for self-regulation and emotional resilience. We learn to self-soothe, to tolerate discomfort, and to find internal resources we never knew we possessed. This strengthens our autonomy, a core theme in existential thought. We become less reliant on external sources for our happiness and stability, and more grounded in our own internal compass. This self-reliance isn't isolation. It's a solid foundation upon which robust, chosen connections are built. Consider a patient in therapy, perhaps struggling with a pervasive sense of emptiness. Yalom might gently guide them towards introspection, encouraging them to explore what truly resonates with them, what they might create or contribute. The very act of turning inward, of confronting a perceived void, can reveal hidden talents, forgotten passions, or a dormant desire to engage with life in a more authentic way. The void becomes not an absence, but a vast, open space for new beginnings, for the courage to invent a self and a life that truly belongs to them. Ultimately, the journey from fearing loneliness to embracing it is a profound act of self-liberation. It transforms what could be a source of profound suffering into a powerful engine for personal transformation. The quiet moments, once dreaded, become cherished opportunities for reflection, innovation, and self-expression. By fully inhabiting our solitary self, we don't just survive, we thrive, moving from void to vigor, unleashing a creative and personal power that enriches not only our own lives, but by extension, the world around you as we wrap up our journey through Yalom's profound insights on loneliness and strength. Remember that the conversation doesn't end here. Every week, we're diving deep into human experience, exploring how to navigate life's biggest questions with wisdom and resilience. Subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration. Join our community as we continue to transform challenging truths into powerful personal growth. What topic should we explore next? Let us know in the comments below.